Good morning, readers. Well, today is the new release day for Cutout Cookie, which is book number 17 in the Auntie Clem's Bakery series. So that is available in all of the online retail stores today and on my storefront and website. I'll drop some links below. Also, in my blog post, I've listed a number of other new releases today if you want to add a few more to your to be read pile. Then you can find things to spend the nice summer days doing. Hopefully, you're having nice summer weather where you are, and if you're not, can find a warm place to cool up with a book. All right, so as usual, I'm going to do a reading today from Cutout Cookie. This is from chapter number 1. Erin heard Terry's truck engine as he pulled in front of the house and parked. She rubbed a hand across her forehead, trying to ease the muscle tension that was giving her a headache. Orange Blossom meowed a protest as she got up out of bed, removing his favorite warm body. She scratched his ears and continued past him to the front door. She reached it at the same time that Terry opened the door and put out his hand to enter the security code into the burglar alarm panel. Her presence there made him startle, and she saw his hand jump to the holster on his hip before he was able to process who it was and that he was safe. He let out his breath and let Canine in before shutting the door behind him. Scared the crap out of me, Erin. He punched the code into the alarm so the siren wouldn't start blaring, then took her in his arms and gave her a firm hug and a kiss on top of her dark hair. What are you doing up? I haven't been able to sleep, too restless. I thought I'd get up and have a cup of tea with you and see if that would help me settle in. Terry nodded and escorted her, one arm around her shoulders, into the kitchen. His brown eyes were smiley, and he kissed her on the top of the head. Again. Always happy to have a bit of company, but you need to make sure you get enough sleep. Erin pushed a dark lock of hair back from her face. I'm not sleeping right now, whether I'm in bed or out of it, so I might as well do something to help myself relax. There was a patter of footsteps as Blossom realized they were in the kitchen and galloped in looking for food. He started to yowl noisily for a treat. Calm down, Erin told him. You'll wake the dead. Or at least the neighbors, Terry agreed. He shifted his duty belt before sitting down. We don't need any more nuisance calls because you're making too much noise. Erin went to the pantry to get a treat for the noisy orange feline and skimmed a few across the floor for him to chase and gobble down. She grabbed one of the gluten-free dog biscuits they offered at Auntie Clem's bakery and gave it to Canine, who was standing patiently waiting for it. He took it politely in his lips, then stretched out on the floor beside Terry's chair to munch on it. Orange Blossom arched his back and hissed at Canine, but the dog took no notice. How about you, Marshmallow? Do you want a carrot? Erin called out. There was no movement from the living room, where the bunny was probably snoozing behind the couch. You see, Marshmallow knows it's time to sleep, not to eat, she told Blossom, who yelled for another treat. She gave in and got him one more. After that, she closed the pantry door to signal there would be no more treats. She washed her hands and put the kettle on, then got out their favorite mugs and put a basket of assorted tea bags on the table. How was work? Terry ran his fingers through his short, dark hair. Pretty quiet today. A couple of reports of a prowler, but nothing there when we checked it out. Kids, maybe, or just shadows in the trees. Any of those reports from Adele? Erin asked. Adele lived in the summer cottage in the woods behind Erin's house and acted as a groundskeeper, ensuring that there were no trespassers or teens hanging out, causing trouble. It was an arrangement that gave Adele a place to live and the ability to practice her Wiccan observances in private, so she wouldn't be driven out of town by her Bible-thumping neighbors, as she had been from other towns. No, nothing from Adele. She can take care of most trespassers on her own. A shotgun in hand was a remarkably effective deterrent. There were other places to hang out and be rowdy. As Erin poured the boiling water into their mugs, she saw Terry's eyes jump to the window. Looking out from the brightness of the kitchen into the dark night, they couldn't make out very much, but Erin saw the ghostly glow of a white dress drift across the yard. Blonde hair, a slim figure, Victoria Webster, Erin's employee and best friend, in her nightgown, taking Nilla out for a tinkle, she guessed. It's just Vic. Erin put the kettle down on a hot pad and went to the back door. She opened it and turned the back door light on. Vic? Sheesh, you trying to scare the life out of me? Vic's voice was sharp, a departure from her usual calm southern drawl. She swore under her breath. Erin's stomach tied itself into a knot. Everyone seemed to be jumpy. I'm sorry, Vicky. I didn't mean to startle you. I was just up with Terry, and I wouldn't be up if I didn't have to take this critter out for a walk, Vic growled, reaching down to pet the fluffy white dog. I'd be in bed where I should be. I know it's not a regular day at Auntie Clem's, just the ladies' tea after church services, but you still need to sleep sometime. I couldn't sleep tonight. Figured I'd get up and have some tea with Terry. I'll wake up half the neighborhood with that cat. Erin shook her head, surprised by Vic's response. She was normally cheerful, even when she was short on sleep. A calm, grounding presence, which was just what Erin needed most of the time. Even though Vic was younger than Erin, she often seemed more mature, maybe because of the life she'd lived with her family, part of the notorious Jackson clan, or as a result of the discrimination and even hate that she'd had to deal with after coming out as transgender. Do you want to come in for some tea? She offered. Valerian or chamomile? No, I'm going straight back to bed as soon as His Majesty is finished with his business out here. Erin nodded. Okay, sorry about scaring you. I didn't mean to. I know, it's okay. You just startled me with the light suddenly going on. Erin gave Vic a little wave and shut the door. She hesitated whether to turn the light off or leave it on, and decided to leave it on. She'd be able to see Vic was safely back into her loft over the garage before she and Terry went to bed. Terry raised his brows as Erin returned to the kitchen table and sat down. She seems a little on edge. Erin nodded. Nilla probably woke her up. You know what it's like being awakened from a sound sleep. Yes, I suppose. But she's usually more in control than that. Erin sipped her sleepy tea, hoping it would calm her overactive thoughts and allow her to get a rest before morning, when her body would wake her up, whether it was a baking day or not. I've noticed she's been kind of moody since we got back from seeing her parents in Moose River. She's been under a lot of stress, having to deal with the revelation that her brothers were both trying to kill her pa for the clan. That kind of stress. They both sipped their drinks, thinking about it. Yeah, Terry agreed. I think we can give her a little bit of latitude for that one. Erin watched Canine chewing on his biscuit. Orange Blossom was creeping closer, watching for his opportunity to steal what was left of the treat, or to lick up the crumbs from the floor and Canine's face. Do you want something to eat? She offered Terry. I can make a sandwich or rewarm some pasta. No, I'm fine. I'll eat when we get up in the morning. Nothing? A cookie? He smiled, the adorable dimple in his cheek making its appearance. I can't very well say no to a cookie. Erin got up and went to the fridge to see what was in the freezer. We've been making lots of sugar cookie cutouts in Easter shapes. Do you want one of those? Sure. Got a bunny? We've got bunnies, eggs, lilies, lambs. You'd better give me an assortment so I can do a quality check, Terry suggested, smiling, the dimple even more prominent. Officer Handsome, Vic was fond of calling him. Erin defrosted several Easter cutout cookies for him. Terry tested them seriously, gazing out the window. There must be a security light out. The backyard shouldn't be that dark. Erin looked, then nodded. You're right. If someone other than Vic had been out there, I wouldn't have been able to tell who it was. Someone should check on that. She gave him a wry smile. He would, of course, check to see which of the bulbs was out and replace it. He was very determined to see that Erin was as safe as possible, especially when he was on shift and she was home alone. Things had happened in the past. They didn't want a repeat. Okay, so that is first chapter of Cut Out Cookie, book number 17 in the Auntie Clem's Bakery series. So if you have pre-ordered it, then check your device or inbox now. And if you haven't, head on over and pick up your copy. And don't forget to check out my Father's Day blog as well. That is up and has some suggestions of stories with strong fathers or father figures that you can read for Father's Day, gift to your father, or whatever you like. All right, we'll talk to you next week.